Hi bitches, welcome back to another video. Since it's April, it's about to be almost a year since I got signed in LA as a model. 33%, right? Why have I been a model in LA for 1 year? I don't know. Why has it already been a year? I don't know. So I wanted to do a video on my 1 year progression, things that I've done, how I got to this point. I have a video on my vlog of how I got signed, but I haven't done an update since. This is my update. 2 weeks will be a year since I've been signed in LA. Around this time last year, I was meeting with agencies, doing all the logistics, going to LA all the time, coming back, going to school. It's been a long way coming. Signed and working in LA, and I'm signed and working in Chicago. Yeah, it's been really exciting. I wanted to, make a video about what I've done in this year. So then, in the future I can look back and be like, wow, I made a lot of progress my first year. Let's get into it. A rundown of how I got started modeling and why I was even interested is because I did a music video for my friend in Nashville. I was just like a backup side extra, what do they call it? A background actor? No, I don't even know. But I went to Nashville to film this music video for my friend, and there was a very well-known photographer. He had pulled me over and asked me if I model, if I'm interested, and why I haven't started. This was my junior year of high school. I think I was 17 or 16 years old. At the time, I was living in the Chicago suburbs. That's where I grew up. Well, not the only place I grew up, but that's where I was living at the time when he asked me this. I didn't really have any knowledge of the modeling industry too much. That's also very young. Once I was almost 18, knowing that I'm going to college soon, I picked a place where I would be able to pursue my education, but also experience the modeling industry to its fullest extent. I think being in high school, prepping for college, there's not too much free time. Then when I look back, like, baby, I had so much free time. At the time, I didn't really look into it. I kind of looked around. When I came back from the shoot, nothing really panned out of that. And I know my story is a little bit different from other models who just get scouted by agents. I like to say I got scouted by a photographer, I guess. I felt as if that was like a wake-up call. A wake-up call, I will say. Hearing that from someone with such talent, I kind of took that as my sign. This was junior year. I was about 16 or 17 years old. Now I'm a sophomore in college, so it's been a while. But ultimately, I just waited until like senior year to really consider what I want to do with that. I was always interested, but I really wasn't sure where to start. At the time, I was still not 18, and I had the choice of picking where I want to go to further my education and then also decide to model. I don't think my parents would have just let me fully quit college or not apply to college and then just model, because I don't think they would say yes to that. I ended up applying to a lot of colleges across the country, mostly in big cities. I decided to go to UC Irvine, and that's where I'm at right now, which is in Orange County, so pretty close to LA. Senior year, before I chose the college I wanted to go to, I did a photo shoot, or like a test shoot, with Matthew, my best friend's cousin, because she works in that creative field. She was based out of Chicago at the time. We did just a basic studio shoot. Insert some photos here. And I was very young at the time, didn't have any experience, didn't really know what I was doing. She gave me a lot of pointers. I dipped my foot in the market, basically. That was my first actual experience of being on set, besides that music video. I ended up meeting with a few agencies in Chicago in high school, but because I was moving for college in a few months, there were just a lot of logistics. So none of those really worked out at the time. When I decided to choose the college that I wanted to go to, I chose UCI. That was my freshman year, so last year. There are a lot of adjustments with school, first of all. So I decided to take it a little bit slow, get my footing with college first. Once I did, started doing some research. So I think about fall quarter, because we're in a quarter system. First quarter of freshman year, started doing research on agencies, where I wanted to apply, what agencies I think would work well with me. I met a good amount of models in the LA area, got their opinions about what agencies they like. And then during winter break, I took the digitals and then I applied to these agencies. Ooh, I have another vlog on that if you want to watch. Signed with my mother agency first, Choice Management, with Chelsea and Lucas, and they're the best agents ever. I love them. This time last year, once I did sign with them, I think that was back in February, I did a test shoot with a great photographer here in LA. This was my first LA photo shoot. This is what they used to sign me with the agencies. Here's some photos of that. This was one of my favorite shoots. I did the styling myself actually, A girl was shopping multiple times a day, going here, going there. I love fashion, obviously. So I got to experience what a stylist does. And personally, props to them, but I don't think I could do that. With these photos, I started meeting agencies out here in LA. I met with Ford, I met with Natural Models, O Models. I feel like I'm missing some. I met with a few big agencies in the area. And then I met with Ford in Chicago. Next, ultimately for the LA market, I went with O Models. And I've been very happy since I've been there. Also love my agents there. Shout out Ross. Once I ended up signing the paperwork for O about this time last year, was very fortunate to do their 10-year anniversary. They are a very new boutique agency out in LA, so they wanted to do a website rebrand. Fortunate enough to get invited to that. Here's a clip of that. This experience was really nice for me because I got to meet other models who have been working in the area, get some advice, learn the LA market a little bit more. I really like this video shoot. Now I'm on their website, front cover. So shout out to them. And then I did another test shoot. This was outside. First shoot outside, which is really cool. And here's some photos of that. And ultimately, I was just building up my portfolio, adding new photos for my book. I think that was about like in May or April of last year. A few weeks after that test shoot, I actually booked my first job here in LA, which was really exciting. I booked Jada Chief's Beauty. Skipped my physics lab final for this. I was really excited to be there. Obviously, it's my first shoot in LA, you know, booked model, freshman year of college, still balancing my courses. I had so much fun. It was really great. I love the photographer. Shout out to photographers in LA, please, because they're great. I worked with Nigel. He was the photographer for them for that shoot. And then I didn't spend the summer in LA. I didn't have an apartment because I was living in a dorm last year. That and some other issues. I went back home for a few months. My break is really long, the middle of June to the end of September. So I was not working for a few months. I went to the Philippines. The Jada Cheese campaign dropped. It was really exciting. I got to work with her and then some other models. Disco themed type of makeup campaign. The outfits were super cute. Jada did the styling herself. She was super sweet. I have had no bad experiences on set, thankfully. And I haven't had any bad experiences with anyone in the industry so far. I ended up doing a lip liner and some lip products for that campaign. After break, when I came back to school back in September, I re-met with my mother agency. We talked about more placement. We talked about my progression in LA, what I can expect, what to do, yada yada yada. I did another test shoot, Create Para Studio, Create Para on Instagram. This was probably my favorite and best test shoot so far. I love the colors on the shoot. The styling was super fun. At this point in my career, had more experience on set. That was before Thanksgiving, I think. I don't know, time flies, and then I don't know when I did stuff. I was doing some auditions, you know, still going to school, obviously. I was really busy first quarter, which was ass. OChem first quarter. After the test shoot, I got booked for 2 jobs. Did that test shoot with Create Para, and then it was winter break. Before I left for winter break, I got a message saying that I booked 1 size. I changed my flight real quick. This was December, right before Christmas time. In January, I booked a skin shoot with Avatara. They gave me this. I actually really like it. 1 size was a really big campaign for me. Actually, the photos dropped this week in several ads. I'll show them right here. Absolutely obsessed with these photos. This was the biggest campaign that I booked thus far. 1 Size is a company that I really like. I use their setting powder. If you know me, I don't really do my own makeup because I'm lazy and like never really learned, but I love their setting powder. I did a shoot with the setting powder, and then on set I got to meet so many cool people. I love the photographer, once again, always the photographers. The makeup artists were super cool. My team was great. I had Kayla do my hair. She's a bridal artist here in Long Beach. Ivan did my makeup, and it looked so good. I just love being on set because then you can just hear all the ins and outs of the industry, but also they will teach you anything. You ask them a question, they will put you on to the best products, what to do, what not to do. The creative director, she is Korean too, and I was really excited. First set that I've done where the creative director also looked like me, which was super cool. At the same time, I really hit it off with the photographer. So then he called me in for a test shoot a few months ago. So 2026 though. After 1 Size, I went back home for winter break, obviously for the holidays. When I got back to school, winter quarter, did my shoot for Avatar Skin. I did some face masks, like pimple patches, like more skincare related. This was a shorter shoot. I think maybe only 5 hours, whereas 1 Size was like 9 or 10 hours. I actually got my nails done for both shoots. For this one, I got like a cute orange theme. Photos of the shoot. They asked me to do like some hand modeling types, which was super cool because then my hands were featured. I didn't think like these hands are photogenic, but you know. After I did Avatara in One Size, I did a test shoot with Carlos, the photographer from One Size. We did a very colorful, more artistic type of makeup, which I love. I was booking very like clean makeup looks. This was like my first bright, colorful pop. Great to work with the new hair team, makeup team. I really love working in LA, especially just in general modeling, because I get to meet with so many cool fucking people. As someone who didn't have this experience or knowledge before, I really got to expose myself to the beauty of artwork that's very different from what I experienced growing up. In high school, I was very like academia driven, middle school very academia driven. So then after my collab shoots, all the test shoots that I did, the jobs that I booked, ended up re-meeting with Choice. My mother agency started placing me again. This is when I got signed with One Management in Chicago. I think this was maybe like a month ago. Yeah, I think a month ago, right before finals. And then I finally signed the paperwork right after my OChem class, actually. I got the email during OChem. The Wi-Fi is so bad in that fucking building. I couldn't even respond to the email. Nothing was sending. At this point, I went back home for spring break. Literally last week, I came back the other day, like 2 or 3 days ago. As I went back to Chicago, I went to One Management, met the team in person. Later in the week, the day I left actually to come back here, I did a new face meeting with them. I met other models. So then I hopped on my flight. I came back on Friday, landed at 9. Saturday, I did another shoot in downtown LA with Cam. He's also great. I'm waiting for this photo. That's pretty much where I'm at up until this point. So in the span of a year, I've booked a decent amount of jobs. I've done a lot of auditions, exposed myself to the industry more. Very grueling industry. A lot of things are also out of your control. I want to say thank you to everyone that's worked with me in the last year. Also, memento from my test shoot with the One Size photographer. First call sheet that I've taken home too. I'm excited to see what this new year comes. I have a lot to figure out relating to school and also my career, but it's been very exciting so far. I'm excited to have made this video. Talk about my progression. It's been hard, but it's also been so fun and so rewarding at the same time. Peace.